Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This one is for my beginners. If you're just now starting out on your Pilates journey and you're looking for some guidance and education on some of the foundational moves that you utilize in Pilates, this is the video for you. Today I'm going to break down some of the core foundational moves that you should master before your next Pilates class. The first thing I like to start everyone with is focusing on your breath. So I want you to take your hands to your ribs and we're going to focus on diaphragmatic breathing, meaning that we're going to create a lot of air into our trunk throughout our entire trunk, not just through the front of our belly, but our entire trunk. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to bring it all together. So bring your fingertips to your ribs and I want you to give a big inhale. And as you inhale, feel those fingers separate. So we're going to do big inhale and then we're going to exhale. And as we exhale, those fingertips are going to come closer together. Let's do 3 more of those together. Big inhale. All the air, think about creating space around your ribs, through your back, through the front of your belly. And then exhale, bring everything together. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. So you'll notice the breathing in Pilates isn't about sucking in. It's not about taking the air out of your cavity. Instead, it is about really big breathing here, exhaling and inhaling and really thinking about widening through your entire trunk as you breathe. So keep that in mind because through Pilates, you're going to sync a lot of your movement with your breath. The next thing we're going to do is practice what it feels like to brace your core. Now, this may be a term that you hear a lot in your Pilates classes, and that just essentially means activating through your abdominals. So I like to give the analogy, imagine you were preparing for someone to punch you in your stomach, or if someone was about to jump on your stomach. To protect your internal organs, you're going to tighten everything up here. You're going to tighten it, but remember, you're never going to suck in. So think about pulling your belly button in towards your navel. So let's do it together with an exhale. Let's give an exhale. Everything comes in. Inhale. Exhale. Everything comes in. Inhale. Everything comes in. So keeping it really tight. And again, I can have a full conversation while keeping my core braced, like flexing your abdomen, protecting those internal organs, but keeping everything nice and tight. That is what I want you to think about for just about all of the abdominal moves and a lot of other moves that you're going to do in Pilates. Now let's take that same movement and apply it slightly differently. Let's start with a few cat-cows here. So I want you to arch through your back, and then we're going to round pull everything in. And as you round to pull everything in, think about that bracing of your core. Think about pulling your belly up, really reaching through your mid-back, and then we arch to lower everything down. So a few more of these. Let's do 3 together. We round, and then we arch to bring everything down, release. So we're inhaling on the down, we're exhaling as we pull everything up. And we're tucking our tail under as we do this as well. We'll get into our pelvis movement coming up here, but really I want you to think about you're arching, you're relaxing, and then we're going to round, pull everything up. 2 more. And now let's do what's called the pregnant cat. So we're going to practice some of that big belly breathing and that bracing of our core, just like we did, but we're on all fours. So imagine you just had a full meal and you're just letting your belly relax, and you'll see the shape of my belly change, but you won't see the shape of my spine change. So I'm not going to arch and round anymore. I want my spine to stay nice and straight. That's called neutral. We'll get into that in a second. So what we're going to do is inhale. Let's create an inhale. Let that belly go big. And let's exhale, draw everything in. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's practice getting some rotation in. Mobility of the spine is a really big part of Pilates. So let's start by bringing our left fingertips behind our ear. I want you to plant through your right hand. You're going to rotate to twist. And then you're going to open yourself up. Really trying to mobilize through that upper spine. And let's sync our breath with this movement. So let's exhale, twist. Inhale, open up. 3 more together. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now let's do that other side. We're going to bring our right fingertips behind our ears. We're going to exhale. And inhale, open it up. Exhale. And inhale. Last 2, exhale. And inhale. Last one. And inhale. And you may notice as you continue to progress that movement, that rotation starts to get a little bit bigger because you're getting a little bit more mobility into your spine. Next up, we're going to flip onto our back and we're again going to focus a core foundational move, and that is what your pelvis is doing during Pilates. So you're going to lay down onto your back here, and I want you to imagine you have a bowl full of water on your pelvis. So your pelvis is this bone structure right here. bowl full of water. We're gonna practice tilting our pubic bone back, which means pouring that water back onto our belly. So pubic bone is here, we're gonna point it back, and notice how your spine begins to imprint into your mat here. Now I want you to do the reverse. I want you to pull your pubic bone forward so it's coming down towards your toes. So we're pouring that bowl of water, that imaginary bowl of water, forward. And notice that there's some space created here. So we're gonna rock it back and rock it forward, rock it back, rock it forward, and start to engage your abdominals to help you bring that pelvis back and rock it forward. And now let's practice rocking side to side. So let's lift to one side. Without taking your glutes off the floor, let's just lift. It's kind of like you're a belly dancer. To the left, to the right. 2 more each side. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Awesome job. So now we're going to practice what neutral feels like. Now neutral is essential to your Pilates practice. It is how you best support your spine and how you properly engage your abdominals. So I want you to get really comfortable with what your neutral feels like. Now everyone's neutral is a little bit different. I'm obviously going to show you what mine looks like, but that doesn't mean that yours will look exactly the same way that mine does. So let's lay down on our back here. We're going to do that practice. Let's point the pubic bone forward, point it back, and let's find it in between where we feel most supported. So forward, back, and in between. You'll have a teeny little bit of space. It's almost like you could fit a blueberry behind the small of your back here. So it's not fully imprinted where you're tucking it really far back and not fully forward. And again, how much you have to tuck your pelvis will be very dependent on the size of your glutes and how your spinal curvature works. So just keep that in mind, but it should feel like you're not arching through your back and you're compressing through your back, but instead you have support here. From here, let's practice that bracing. So let's pull our belly button in towards our spine, brace. Abs may feel a little bit tighter, and relax. 3 more. Let's brace. Tighter abs and relax. Last 2, brace. Last 1. And you may notice here, my spine wasn't moving a lot. It was just the bracing of my core to keep everything tight. Now we are going to practice stabilizing that neutral when we start to move our limbs. Now this is where it gets a little bit more challenging, and this is what's gonna fire up our deep core here. So let's start with our arms up to the ceiling. We're just gonna tap our right toes down, and then tap our left toes down. And notice my neutral is not changing. As my toes come down, my back isn't arching. I'm trying to keep that connection with that neutral. Belly pulled in towards my spine, toes tap down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. And let's sing our breath with it. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's make it a little bit more challenging if you're up for it and see how hard it feels to maintain neutral in this position. So now we're gonna go, left hand goes back, right toes go down, and switch. Core stays really braced and tight. Let's do 3 more each side. 3, 2, keep that core in tight. Don't forget about that exhale, inhale. Last 1, exhale, inhale, and bring it down. Great work. You may notice that one got a little bit spicier. It's because we have to really work hard to maintain neutral, to brace our core, to keep our core really active so that our spine doesn't sway back and forward. This will also help you really alleviate any back pain in Pilates. Now, what I want you to do next is really try to figure out what it feels like to maintain neutral through different body positioning. So neutral is easiest to maintain when you have feedback from the floor, so when you're lying down on your back, but it gets more challenging as you take different body positionings, but it's important that you're comfortable with maintaining your neutral in these positions. So instead of doing it on our back, now we're going to go to all fours and we're going to focus on our neutral here. So what I want you to do here is find that neutral. So nice flat back, core pulled in, so no dip through my low back, no really big round. I want a nice flat back here. And we're going to do a similar motion where we take opposite hand, opposite leg, we reach and we tap it down. Reach and tap it down. Notice how the shape of my spine isn't changing, and that is because I'm bracing really hard with my core. We reach, tap it down. Last 2, reach, tap it down. Awesome. And bring it back. Give yourself a second. Sit your hips back. Stretch it out. We're going to go back to all fours. Now we're going to spice things up a little bit more, and we're going to actually practice a rounding as we come in. So we're going to round, then I want you to go back to neutral and switch sides. We reach it out, really flat back. Let's round. And then let's find our neutral again and bring it down. Reach it out. Let's round. Find our neutral again and bring it down. Reach it out. Let's round. Really pull it in, round through your spine. Get that mid back to the sky. Reach and bring it down. 1 more each side. Round. Reach. Come back down. Last one. Really round. Reach and come back down. Although very few Pilates moves are done standing up, I think it's important to practice all body positioning so you're comfortable with maintaining neutral, whatever you're doing movement-wise. So let's practice some squats. A lot of times people let their pubic bone fall back when they squat, so they get that arch to their low back. So they'll squat down, send their glutes back, and come up. For a lot of moves, including Pilates, when you're thinking about squatting, to get your abdominals involved a little bit more, you wanna tuck your pelvis under. So you keep that pelvis in neutral, tuck it under, hold, root yourself through your heels, and come down and up. And the thing about neutral is it's such a subtle movement and it really varies person to person. So it may be hard for you to kind of see someone's movement and be like, are they in neutral? Are they not in neutral? That's why it's so important to figure out what works best for you and your body. So try it out, just see what it feels like to have that slight tilt back, stretching here, versus if you tuck under, maintain neutral, sit it down and back, down and back. Let's go back down to our mat for some abdominal foundational moves. So we're gonna start first with an ab curl, which is arguably one of the most important ab moves to understand in Pilates. So I want you to lay down on your back, find your neutral, so that pelvis is neutral, not lifted forward, so you have a big space between your low back and not fully imprinted, but somewhere in between. I want you to brace your core. From here, reach your arms long by your side. We're gonna take a slight nod to our chin to lift the back of our head off the mat. Then I want you to lift through your mid-back to clear your shoulder blades off. We're gonna pause for 1, 2, and lower yourself down. The biggest mistake people make in this move is they're pulling too much forward with their neck. So they're straining a lot through the back of their neck, and I want you to really focus on the lift through this region. So it's just a nod to clear your head, and then we lift from here. Heart comes up to the sky. We hold and bring it down. Practice a few of those, and again, not chin to chest, not really big strain pull forward of our head, then we lift. It's a nod, enough space to hold an orange. We lift and we hold here for 1, 2. Let's do 2 more together. We nod, we lift, hold. Try to clear those shoulder blades off the mat, but however high you can get is perfect, especially if you're just now starting out. And let's do 1 more and hold and lower it back down. Now let's see if we can advance that ab curl and take it to a full-blown roll-up. This is like a sit-up with your legs down. So if you're newer to Pilates, I recommend either having someone hold onto your legs for this roll-up or pressing your feet against a wall here to help you. But we're gonna start with that nod. Let's find that nod. We reach, we roll, and I want you to create the biggest, big curve of your spine that you can while you reach your hands forward. Reach for your toes as far forward as you can get. Feel that stretch to the back of your legs, and then let's restack. Let's do 2 more of those. Go all the way down to your back. Don't worry about going down here. We're really focusing on just the up for this level, for these foundational moves. We nod through our chin. Let's find that nod. We roll, 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 keeping our belly pulled in tight, reaching forward, trying to press through the back of our legs. Reach, 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 keeping that curve. Think about mid-back pointed behind you. And then we roll it back down. Let's do 1 more. Roll, 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 roll. Reach, reach, reach. Belly pulled in. And let's bring it down. Now what we just practiced activating with that move is called a C curve. So creating that big C shape with your spine. That's another one that I like to practice with my newbies to Pilates. So we're gonna sit down on our sit bones, which is the bony structure of your glutes. Sit down on your sit bones and let's find a really big round through our back. So let's create that C shape. C shape with your spine pointed back behind you. We roll, round, tuck chin. And then I want you to find a balance on your sit bones. Really trying to balance on your tailbone. We round it back. Let's inhale, restack. Let's do 3 more together. Round it back. Inhale, restack. Last 2. Inhale, restack. And try to keep it light with your hands behind your hamstrings here. Inhale, restack. Sink it back, creating that curve, and then bring it back in. Awesome work. Now I want you to practice what it feels like to remove that curve and engage your abdominals through a flat back. So you can bend your knees or keep your legs long, whichever feels comfortable, starting with a really long spine here, belly pulled in. I just want you to hinge from your hips, send yourself back. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, bring it forward. And notice, unlike before where we were really rounding, for this one we're keeping our spine really tall and stacked. So do 2 more. Last one. So feel the difference. Both activate your abdominals, but very differently. One is more about getting that mobility, getting that round shape through your back, and one is about a flat back. One may feel a little bit easier than the other, and that is okay. Let's finish off flipping onto our belly and doing some posterior body work. So let's start here, lying down on our belly, belly button pulled in towards our spine. I want your elbows out wide. We are gonna lift not through our low back, but I want you to think about lifting through this upper spine here, squeezing your glutes and lifting your legs. Let's lift and lower it down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Trying to clear your head, get those thigh bones off the mat as much as you can. Keep active toes, so point through those toes. And try to keep your belly pulled away from the mat. Last two. Last one. And bring it down. So this is all about the muscles. There is one big chain of muscles through your back, but then also your glutes and your hamstrings very active. So it's a nice back full body move. For the next one, we're gonna hold high and we're just gonna do some swimmers. So you're gonna keep your arms long and I want you to flutter your feet while you flutter your hands. Exhale, find that hold, flutter, and lower back down. So similar sensation, not compressing through our low back, lifting through the upper back, lifting through your thigh bones. Let's bring it up. Swim, 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 and bring it back down. Let's do three more. Up, and back down. Up, and back down. Last one, up, and back down. Great work. Come back to a child's pose. And let's just do a couple cat-cows to finish it out here. Maybe some hip circles down and around. So those are the core foundational Pilates moves that I recommend you master before your next Pilates class, and let me know if there's any other videos that you want to see.